Sorry.
That's
And
not
really
a
bad.
whole lot better.
Y'all need to hurry up this episode because you're cutting into my video game playing time here.
Oh my gosh, I
Oh,
don't.
no.
I got Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and I've got Star Wars Battlefront sitting on my table right now out there.
You have to
Nice.
tell me if Star Wars Battlefront is good, because
It is.
that one.
And-
It's
and,
basically like Call of Duty set in Star Wars, right?
No, it's Battlefield set in Star Wars. It's made by DICE, the people that make Battlefield.
Mhm.
So it's the same engine they use, same gameplay mechanics, but it's all Star Wars universe, and it's amazingly good. I don't play it in first person view because I don't like the way the Battlefield engine does things in first person. But in third person view, it's just a phenomenally fun game. You get to be, stormtroopers or rebel people. You get to fly X-wings and TIE fighters. You get to do all these different assaults and various modes of gameplay. You get to be, Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader and Boba Fett and Princess Leia and the Emperor, and you can fly Slave One and Millennium Falcon, and this just an incredibly detailed, very rich world of gameplay with a ton of different modes to play in, and it's really, really fun.
Is it an Xbox game?
It's on all platforms, so Xbox, PlayStation, PC, whatever.
Okay.
Am I any louder?
Nope, you're super quiet still.
Is that better?
Yeah, there we go.
I'm like, I can just bump my volume on my mixer.
Yeah, bump it up a little more because it's still a little quieter.
Let me play with the gain. Is that
There we
better?
go.
Yeah.
Up
Now
the
you're
volume.
overwhelming the rest of us.
Yep.
Wow. Awesome. I haven't played video games in like a really well. I guess that's not true. I guess I've played a few games on my iPhone with
Yeah.
my. That's the extent of it since college.
Yeah, I'm spending way too much time playing video games, and I'm quite happy with that at this point.
Nice.
It's a good life at this point in time.
I'm gonna get. Well, I bought Fallout 4. But
Yeah, I don't have that one yet. Not sure if and when I'll buy it. Probably next year sometime.
I
We need
can't
to
play it on
convince-
my MacBook.
Yeah.
We need to convince Derek to start another business because he's just having too much fun since he shut down Signal Leap.
Yeah. I don't have nearly enough stress in my life right now.
Yeah, I'm actually buying a new computer in order to play Fallout 4.
Nice. Is that that's the Surface Book?
Yeah, my decision tree. That's actually the thing that pushed me over, because I was like, I want to play Fallout 4, and so my option was basically like,
I think John's actually looking at a decision tree drawn
Yeah.
on the wall.
I forget. Oh, this was my options. It was buy it and in boot camp my Mac. I've already got it boot camp, and play it on my Mac. Buy an Xbox or PS4 and play it on there, or get a Surface Pro, a Surface Book Pro.
Is your Mac the Mac the MacBook, not the MacBook Pro? Is it the thin light one?
No. I've got the
That's-
13-inch
yeah,
MacBook
that's
Pro,
right.
like the fully upgraded, max out version, and it basically can't play Fallout 4 at the lowest setting.
Wow.
It'll run.
Macs
but
are better for graphics though.
This has the integrated graphics, the Intel integrated 60.
Yeah, the
100-bit.
low-end MacBook Pros like that, the graphics cards are terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the fully upgraded 13-inch, so you have to be at the 15-inch in order to get
Right.
the non-integrated graphics. So I installed it, tried that, and I was like, and then the console one, I won't like. I'm not opposed to spending $400 or $500 to buy an Xbox One or a PS4 just to play this game, but the problem, I looked it up. Like, I have Skyrim for Xbox, the original Xbox, and I just was banging my head against the wall. I stopped playing it because the load times were like 15, 20 seconds per room, and I was like, if Fallout has that, there's no way I'm doing this. So I looked up online, and people are having the same problems with Xbox and PS4 with load times. So then obviously I have to get a Surface Book Pro. So
That way you can have load times all the time because it's a notebook and not a gaming PC.
no, but that like the fully upgraded Surface Book Pro will easily play. Like it's more than capable enough to play Fallout 4. So.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've watched videos of people.
Okay.
So yeah, it's no problem. But
Right.
but yeah, we were talking last week or the week before about switching off of Mac anyway and Apple, and so that was the killer for me. Is I'm just like I'm not utilizing. There's really no benefit for me being on the Mac side, and I've tried to like it for like the last year or so, and I don't know. For me, it doesn't make sense. I think Windows is superior. Windows 10 especially Windows 8 sucked, but Windows 10 makes it good. So we'll see. I'm always after the new hotness.
Yeah, as soon as OS X 11 comes out, you'll switch back.
Yeah.
It's all good. So I'm glad I emailed and asked about bumping up another sale this year because I totally forgot about the whole Black Friday thing.
Oh yeah.
And so I've been spending the morning putting together my thoughts around getting that done, and I sent out the announcement email to my mailing list a little bit ago, about half an hour, 45 minutes ago, and then put together a very basic landing page that is nothing more than the email that I sent and then a sign-up form, so you can join my mailing list and get announcements for everything that's coming out. But the idea of what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bunch of the existing screencast bundles that I have, plus the series that I just finished on Architecting Express, and put all of that together into the Ultimate Express bundle.
Oh, you're going to kill it with this.
And I'm going to
Ultimate.
promise that when the next series, Deploying Express, is finished, I will add that to the bundle and send it to everybody that's already bought it.
Nice.
I'm curious, what tools do you tell people to use to deploy?
I haven't started recording that part of it yet, but I typically just use Git push, either onto Heroku, or if I'm setting up a virtual machine my own, I'll set up a Git repository on there and do it that way. But once it comes down to really pushing the code from the Git repository into whatever, there's a number of different things I've used. My current setup is typically a script called Forever, which basically just runs your process forever. It'll crash and restart it and things like that. So it's a pretty good setup. There's a lot of options out there, and I tend to keep it mostly just simple. But yeah, I think you're right, Josh. With this giant package of screencasts, it's going to be like the Express Pro Tips, the MongoDB one, the RabbitMQ screencasts without the extras or interviews or anything like that, the Architecting Express that I just finished, and probably one or two more, probably one more series in there. I need to finalize my list. But it's going to be a giant bundle of stuff, and I'm going to sell it like ridiculously dirt cheap, and try and bank off of high number of sales at a ridiculously low price. It'll be like, I don't know, like $79 or something like that for what is realistically $400 or $500 worth of screencasts.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to what Wes and I did last year with the Sublime bundle, and we're gonna do it again this year.
Nice.
So yeah, it should be.
Just don't undercut yourself too much so that you can't do another sale to that same audience. Like that they'll, you know what I mean? Like make it something that can't be compared. Like what you would never want to do is like take something that's $500, do a bundle, exact bundle, and then sell it for $200 on Black Friday, but then do a sale later for $300 or $400. You got to make it so that they can't compare them. They're like
Yeah.
it might be the same content, but it's arranged in a different way. It's a different package. It has different bonuses.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that, and I'm probably never going to offer this bundle, this ultimate bundle in this package again. I mean, if you want these things, you can always just go buy them individually.
Yeah.
This is like a one-time, all of it together, all at once for this one big price.
And if you've got any bonus stuff you can throw in there, I would do that. Jack that price up as much as you can.
Right.
That's pretty killer.
So yeah,
you might want to consider going all the way to $97 with that.
97, okay.
Yeah, because there are you'd have to really test. It's impossible to test this, but there are breakpoints with pricing, and 3 figures is a breakpoint.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people say that between $49 and $97, there's not a lot of difference.
Okay.
It's like a lot of money, and you almost don't notice the difference between 79 and 97. Probably won't. And even if your conversion rate's a little bit lower, to get the extra $20 on every sale.
Yeah. Well, I picked 79 because that's what you and John just launched at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, that's a good mark to use because you killed that sale.
There's evidence to suggest that 99 would have been just as good.
Okay.
Or 97 at least.
Yeah, and we had
Go with
people
97.
we had people emailing us saying, it's great that this is so affordable.
Right.
And I think that it would have still been perceived that way at the higher, slightly higher price. So
part of it is too because my other courses at the 300 or off at the 200.
Yeah.
So it depends
you've
on
got
where
some
you're.
higher price stuff too.
Yeah,
Derek,
I certainly do.
Yeah.
So 97 or 99 doesn't make a difference.
97. I would go with 97.
Okay.
Another thing you'd have to test, but typically, conventional wisdom is that 7s. I have seen split tests where 7s outperform 9s.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
All right, I'll do 97.
It's one of those things where you never really know. It's a stupid thing, but a lot of people have found that 7s work better. So.
Right. So my plan for this.
Ours was actually 77, not 79, for that reason.
Okay. So my plan for this is basically to spend all weekend alternating between playing video games and writing sales emails. Because I need to. Because I wrote the announcement email and sent it out without actually having the real plan finished. I was very vague about what's being included in this, other than, here it's going to be amazing and big, and here's all these questions that everybody's always asking, and so I kind of sort of hinted at things, but I didn't commit to any of it, so that I can have a couple of days here to get some emails prepped. I'm going to send an email a day, Monday through Friday, with Friday being the it's live, go buy it, Black Friday sale kind of thing. And I'm going to let the sale run until Tuesday of the next week.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then you'll hit Cyber Monday.
Exactly.
So you're going to do the Ben Settle. You've got to send at least 14 emails.
Yes, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll be at least 10.
Oh gosh, good for you.
I'm just dropping 1, maybe 2. I'm probably dropping 2 on Black Friday itself, just because we just did a launch.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
That's in your case. That sounds about right. Since I haven't done a product bundle launch since RabbitMQ, so this is like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So my list
definitely
should be ready for another big sale like this. At this point.
One thing that this is kind of related, I was wanting to mention, Derek, is I'm doing a Copy Hour again, which is the program I did when I first got started with copywriting. Basically, it's hand copying sales letters. I'm not doing a full hour every day. I'm doing like half an hour. But one thing that's come up in a couple of them is that if you're selling a newsletter, a print newsletter, it's notoriously difficult because you're selling something that doesn't exist yet, right? So like you're selling a future a newsletter Sorry, distracted by the chat.
Oh, sorry.
So when you're selling a print newsletter, it's pretty tough to do because you don't know what the content's going to be.
Right.
And you're in the same situation because you're selling like subscribe to my wonderful service. It's going to be great stuff, but you can't. It's hard to make promises about what's coming.
Yeah.
So what they do in a lot of these promotions, and this was we're looking at a Motley Fool investment newsletter promotion, and they basically they take one of their best videos or one of their best newsletters, convert it into like a free report premium type of thing, and then they sell the heck out of that premium, and then you get the premium for free when you try the newsletter.
Oh,
and
I see.
So you're not even selling. So you're basically selling. I think it was like buy the newsletter for 30 days. You get this free report for free, and then they'd include a couple other bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
And that lets you sell like one very specific thing, and talk a lot about what's in it, versus having to make vague promises about future content.
Right.
So that could be a useful model for you, where you have like a free video or a free bundle or something that you get as if you try the service, and actually positioning it as trying the service is very powerful because it removes it helps mitigate the sense of risk.
Right.
So sell it as not as a free trial, but as a trial, and you get this bundle for free. And the bundle's worth more than what they're paying anyway.
Right.
Right.
And so, I mean, you could take a smaller bundle and do something like that. That could actually work really well.
Well, it would have to be something other than a screencast because all of my screencasts are included in the subscription.
Mm-hmm.
But I could do like the ebooks that I've got. I could say.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a $5, $10 ebook, like the JavaScript this, for example, I could say, try Watch Me Code for 30 days and get, the 6 rules for mastering JavaScript ebook free, kind of thing. So something like that.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah. So you're talking about more long-term dealing with.
Yeah, this is not
the subscription stuff.
Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
Not dealing with the bundle sales right now.
Yeah, it's just another way to do the continuity, to slice the continuity.
That's a good idea.
Dilemma.
I like that. I want to let my current email pitch campaign run for a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not performing as well as I want it to, I might try something like that. That'd be a really easy thing to adjust and to stick into the emails as well as just on the site itself.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question? Because I'm pondering some things here. What do you do to actually lead up to a sale like this, like Black Friday or Cyber Monday or something? I mean, how many emails do you send? And things like that. I'm just trying to get an idea of how to set something like this up for some of the things that I've got going too.
So I set up. I sent one email so far today, and I am planning to send an email a day for the next Monday through Friday. So it'll be basically 5 emails, and then the "Go get it, it's live" email.
Mm-hmm.
So. And I've done this in the past as well, and this formula tends to work pretty well for me from what I've seen. Make an announcement on a Friday, and then on Monday start talking about the real content. You're going to get all of this. This is amazing. You're going to get this. It slices, it dices, and all the. But wait, there's more.
Derek's going all Billy Mays on us.
I
here.
am Billy Mays. So it goes through several of those kinds of emails through the next week. Thursday will be like frequently asked questions, and then Friday will be go get it, it's live. Normally I do it so that you get the emails Monday through Friday. Sunday will be the frequently asked questions, and Monday will be the Go Get It, It's Live. But I'm trying to do this for Black Friday, so I'm shifting everything back a couple of days.
That's pretty much how we did. That's similar to how we just did the launch for John's 10 Steps course.
Right.
For me, like, and that's fine. Like, I think for what you're doing with this bundle, that's fine as well. For me, what I'm going to do will probably just be one email ahead of time, and then a short, tight, like 48-hour deadline with three emails. Come get it. Ends today. Ends soon.
Yeah.
Like, so, and it's only 2 days long.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have, like, the benefits of this bundle on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, frequently asked questions, which will list everything and answer a bunch of questions, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday I'll probably send 2 emails. One in the morning, one in the evening because it's Black Friday. Saturday, Sunday I'll probably send 1 in the mornings. Monday I'll probably send 3 emails. I'll do 1 in the morning, 1 midday, and 1 at night as your absolute last chance.
So are you going to do Black Friday on Friday and Saturday, or?
I'm doing it Friday through Monday, basically,
Oh, okay.
to catch Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Huh.
And realistically, I'm not going to close the discount until Tuesday sometime because of time zone differences and all that. I've had a number of times in the past where somebody would say, I tried to buy it at 11:58 p.m. in this time zone, and it was already closed. Like, okay, time zones. Got to remember time zones.
I got to see when the latest time someone used the coupon code for my launch was. I think it was like a week later.
Yep.
I was like, how could you even think that this is going to work? It did work because I just left it there, but...
Yeah, most of the time I leave the discounts there, but in this case, I'm actually going to shut it off. But I really like the way Easy Digital Downloads works with this. There's an add-on for it called Discounts Pro, and I can set up Discounts Pro so that if you add all of these items to your cart, it'll give you this discount. That way you don't have to apply a discount code, you don't have to do anything. You just click on the buy button, it'll add everything to your cart, and you'll get the discount automatically.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
That makes sense.
So what I'm looking at doing is something similar, except it's the bundles for the conferences.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of to make a splash when I launch.
Yeah, like an all-season pass, an all-access pass.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to do it for all 12. I don't think I'm going to do a deal on like the 6 or the 3 or anything.
Yeah, I think I would do that. That makes sense.
Especially if it's a killer deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and you guys can tell me if I should think of a different price point, but I'm thinking about doing, so each conference, if you get early bird tickets, are $100. And so that would be $1,200 if you bought early bird tickets for all the conferences to go to all the conferences. And so what I'm thinking is offering it for $777.
Perfect. In my head, I was thinking, I'm thinking of a number, and it's $800. So.
Well, that's where I was going, and then you mentioned the sevens, and I'm like, oh yeah, the sevens trick. Yeah.
How about $666?
Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Yeah. Then I think that'll work out. I think I'm going to offer some kind of, like, if you buy a 12-pack off of the deal, I'm thinking that'll probably be like, I don't know, $1,000 or something. So this is $233 off. Is that enough of a deal on Black Friday to get people to go, oh?
How much? What was the discount again? So like 23% or something?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, but show the discount not off of the early bird price. Show it off.
No, it'll be off of the full price.
Yeah, so the full price would be something like, I mean, the early bird price would be
$2,400.
Yeah, okay, so $2,400 marked down to $777.
That's huge.
And you can buy, or you can buy it for $666 and just get 6 months.
And also with your soul.
Yes. I'll take the discount plus your soul. And
Okay, so I got to tell a funny story about this. So, so since we have added to our family, we needed to buy some more chairs for our. We had a 4-chair set in our dining room, and so we got Amazon had a good deal on like just these plain wooden chairs. So we ordered one and we liked it. So then we ordered another one. And when it came, we opened the box, and there were 2 of them in there. And I was like, great, now we have another chair that we don't want, and do I have to return it? And I was like, you know what, screw it. They screwed up. I'm not going to spend an hour packing this thing up, taking it to the UPS store. The net cost for them is probably $10 or $15. Right. It would cost them more to ship it back if they had to pay shipping. So I was like, screw it, we'll just keep it. So it's now in my office. But so my wife was like, she was like, she kind of likes, she's like the budgeting Nazi in our house, and she likes to like run the numbers all the time. So she's like, oh, I wonder how much we paid per chair. So she did the math, and she hits enter on the calculator, and it said $66.66. We're like, oh. That makes me feel even worse about keeping the chair. Yeah.
That's the naughty chair. If you sit in that chair,
it will suck your soul out of you. I used to work in fast food various times. I've worked at a bunch of different fast food places, and invariably, if somebody ordered some combination of things that came out to 666, like $6.66, they would look at me for a second. Can I add blah?
Nice.
That's so funny.
Like, that could be a good hack actually for like upsells.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I have one other question, and that is, since we're having a baby next week, is there any way I can play that into? See that I'm already looking at exploiting my children.
Totally.
Is there any way that I can play that into the Black Friday sale?
You don't want it to come off needy, so you don't want to be like, you never want to be like, I'm having a baby, so I need money, so help me.
No. You want to
we had a baby, yay! I'm in a good mood.
You want to tell a story that connects your audience to you with that baby, with something about the pregnancy, something about having kids, something about preparing a room or a nursery or a crib, or tell a good story that relates the baby to some principle that you're applying about learning and how all these conferences are going to help you learn, or something like that.
I should take a picture of my wife with a big belly, and then
the
email that I send out today or tomorrow will say, "We're about to deliver."
It depends on your audience, though, too. Like, this is one where, I don't know. I would have to think. I think for your audience, it might not work as well. Well, okay, so, like, there's going to be a lot of, I don't know. I guess, the age of your audience, because I would guess like this. I would say where it wouldn't work, right? Like, anything baby-related to, like, 19-year-old, 21-year-old, just got out of college or just, like, starting college, like, if they're beginning programmers, they won't have any. They're like, I don't, baby, right?
Yeah.
But if it's mid-level engineers that probably have families, then it'll probably connect.
Yeah. Actually, so for me, I actually found out I was running Facebook ads for a while there and looking at who was clicking on them, and I actually found out that my audience is like basically 28 to 55. So if you notice, I'm talking more about my family in my emails and stuff, and that's part of the reason why. Because like I actually had avoided that because I assumed everybody would be like 20-somethings and not connect with that. But actually, like the biggest chunk of people is people right in my demographic, like 35.
Huh. That's interesting because
I would guess that Chuck might be the same way.
I can tell you the people that I've talked to on the 15-minute connections and the people that I've been DMing back and forth with or emailing back and forth with that I found on Twitter, most of them are actually, they're my age, give or take 5 years.
That's weird because I was looking at the analytics on my YouTube channel, and it was kind of shocking because like most of my 40% of my demographics was 22, like the 21 to 25-year-old female.
John.
All right.
You're just pretty, John. That's the thing.
I think that was a joke, but I'm not sure.
Do your stats also say that they watch with it muted?
I just like to watch his mouth move.
Wow.
But no, I think I don't know. To me, it's a gamble in the tech industry to do the baby thing. I don't know. I think it is.
It's no more of a gamble in this industry than any other industry because we're all human beings.
Yeah, but there's more younger people.
I think that some software developers might take an issue with that.
Some would, and you don't want those people buying from you anyways.
Right.
In the internet marketing, well, I don't know. I was going to say internet marketing space. It's more in the
human.
Huh? Well, yeah. I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that the tech industry is more weighted towards there's a higher percentage demographically of like early 20s males in that demographic, so that it's not like it's going to hurt you. It's just you're missing the opportunity to connect with something that's going to connect more more solid with more of your audience. That would be my only fear with using that. So, like everyone who has kids connect with. But,
you might be able to get some hints on this if you look at your Google Analytics demographic data.
Yeah.
Google Analytics demographic data?
Yeah. You have Google Analytics installed, I'm assuming.
No, I'm running GetClicky.
You should probably have both, though. I would install both. I would just have Google Analytics running so you have the data, even if you don't use it or look at it.
How do they collect demographic data off of analytics data?
It's Google.
It's
they
Google.
know everything about you.
If you're signed into Google, then we know who you are and
exactly
what you are and how often you pick your nose and got it.
I didn't even know they had demographics on here. I just enabled it right now. Yep. So it says it's going to take at least 24 hours to have any demographics data. But I just turned that on for my main website.
I would take it with a grain of salt, but it's at least useful.
Oh yeah, totally.
But anyway,
I mean, I've heard stories about people, like 25-year-old dude says Google thinks I'm a 50-year-old woman.
I keep getting menopause ads.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, quit buying Depends and it'll stop.
But anyway, I think that's a minor point. The pricing is more important, and the fact that you're offering this, I think, and I think that's a good idea. I think the all seasons pass, connected to something they're familiar with. People are familiar with on Netflix buying all seasons pass. They're familiar with doing that with video games now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So call it something around that. Make it. You can hype this up because no one has ever done this before, right?
Yeah.
So this is the first time. This is a part of a unique experience and a unique experiment. Like, hype up the success of the previous ones, and just talk about the kind of opportunity. Maybe I would even compare it against the price point of attending 12 live conferences. Like the fact that if you attended 12 live conferences, it would cost you this much money to get into the conference, to travel to the conference, this much time off of work. Like, what kind of opportunity? I mean,
that's true.
To be able to have the best developers in the world be giving you a conference every single month, even if the topics, not all the topics are ones that relate to you. Like, I think there's a lot of
that'll help you because, I think
I can price anchor to that. 12 conferences, 12 regular conferences, and then say, even if you just got full price on these conferences, it still costs you $2,400.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You can get it all for $777.
Yep. And if you show up in your underwear at these live conferences,
no one will know.
But these ones, you don't even have to wear underwear. As
long as you keep that video camera turned off.
I bet I could turn that back around to the baby angle.
Okay, so here's what you do, Chuck. I agree with what Derek's saying as far as telling stories, and I think the baby angle's potentially really could be good. Don't rely on that though.
Yeah.
Do that. Do something like that in every email.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And hit from multiple angles. So
Exactly.
you're not betting the farm on the one.
And if you play the baby angle, make it a really short story, just a couple of paragraphs.
Yeah.
Oh, I was doing this in preparation for the baby, and I noticed that, and here's how it relates to education and training and blah blah blah. Just
Right.
super short, super sweet, gets the point across, lets people know that you're a human being,
Yeah.
makes that connection.
Yeah.
You just have to connect with them on one thing. Like, for example, there's a reason why I'm wearing this Zelda hat today. I shot videos with the Zelda hat because
Nice.
one thing I've learned about building audiences is that people could, like, you could say 1,000 things or write 1,000 blog posts, and people will be blah, 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 whatever, and they might even disagree with you. But if there's one thing that they super connect on, like, oh, like, I'm a Zelda fan too, then they're going to ignore all the stuff that doesn't connect, and they're suddenly going to become a fan. So you just have to, like, keep on, like, doing things that are. So that's what I think. I think that's what Josh is getting at. Is like hit the baby angle once, then hit some other angle that'll hit some other.
Right.
I guess
connection.
I can do that. It doesn't all have to be a theme. It just has to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get
yeah.
them willing to open the next one.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, you probably wouldn't like Ben Settle's emails, but he's really, really good at this. He will, like, when he does a launch or a joint venture with somebody, he'll send like seriously like 14 different emails, and they will hit multiple segments of his audience, and they will hit multiple different story angles, and none of them really connect that well. Like, he doesn't really bother with trying to connect the emails together. It can be really powerful when you do, but it's also like way more work, and sometimes it's not really worth it. But yeah, hitting multiple angles like that.
Yeah, Ramit does the same thing.
Yep.
He's always sending, like, he just, like, tests the waters with all kinds of stuff, like whatever. Sometimes it's about weightlifting, because he's doing, like, he just finds all the things that. But you have something in common with Ramit, I guarantee you. And he sent you an email with the thing that you have in common with him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I think that's awesome. I think you'll do well on this. I hope so. I mean,
totally.
it's totally like an unknown, because, like, what will people think? Will they want to sign up for this? But you could really clean up how big of a list are you sending this promotion to? Or how are you? I mean, you're obviously going to talk about it on your podcast, but do you have a list that's big enough to send it to as well?
So I have the lists for people who get episode notifications.
Yep.
And across all the shows, if I send it to all of them, I think they're like 3,400 last time I looked. It's probably higher now because it's.
You're also including people that have previously attended one of your conferences, right?
Yes, I'll be sending to them as well.
So maybe we're looking at like
5,000, 6,000,
4,000 or 5,000, I think.
With probably like a targeted audience, like 300 that are specifically interested in online conferences.
Yeah, that have attended before. Yeah, I probably have 250 to 300 people there.
I guess I don't know. I guess my realistic expectation would be 1% conversion on that.
Just because it's such a big number to drop.
Yeah.
I would actually say. So what would that? We're talking. So that's like 60. I'm actually gonna say more like 15 to 30. I would.
Percent?
Put in that range. No. Total
total
sales.
people. Yeah.
So, yeah. Especially since these are not lists that are used to being marketed to.
Right.
That's true.
But still,
I'm working
that's
on that list.
15 to 25 grand or whatever. So
yeah.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah, that would take care of me for a little while.
Yep.
Yeah, and you won't be you'll be undercutting yourself a little bit on some of the. No, but not really, because most people who would sign up for an online conference wouldn't buy all 12. In fact, the break-even point is that would they buy 7 of them? And most people would sign up for 2 or 3, so you're making an extra couple $100 out of those people.
Yeah. Well, even if most people would sign up for 6.
Yeah.
I'm still more than breaking even. I think. I don't know if anyone would sign up. Well, that's not true. I know some people will sign up for 9, and some people will sign up for 12. But I think 6 is probably the magic number, because there are probably 6 conferences in there that span across mobile development or web development.
Yeah.
You know, and so you can pull enough of that. You know, there's enough interest in enough of those topics to grab 6. And some are only going to grab 3. It's like, nope, I just want like the Ruby ones plus another one or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you kind of want to make the bet here that most people are going to probably buy 1 or 3, like up to 3. That like I would say you only want to do this if you're pretty sure that 80 to 90% of the people that would buy would only buy 1 to 3 in a year. Because if it's flipped the other way, if 80 to 90% would be buying 6 or 7, then you're not really doing anything. Like you might be costing yourself money. You're definitely not making money at that point.
Right. I'm just getting the money now instead of later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the whole 80-20 curve thing would show you that most people are going to buy 1, maybe 2 or 3.
Exactly. I would think my gut would say that 50% of people would buy 1.
Yeah.
And then like of the remaining 50%, half of them would buy 2, and then half of them would buy 3, and there'd be like maybe a 10% that would buy more than 3.
Right.
That would just be my guess, but
that feels right. I think those numbers might skew up or down a little bit, but not a lot.
It's probably pretty close to reality.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this will be cool. Hopefully this goes well.
Yeah, for once I'm finally remembering to do a Black Friday sale.
Yeah, sorry I derailed the conversation there, Derek.
No, it's all good.
You wanted to go after?
No, I mean, other than that, Watch Me Code's picked up a tiny bit. I'm up to 415 subscribers from a low of 412, so that's not bad. I have had a total of 1,000 subscribers off.
Oh, cool.
So
you should do something special for number 1,000.
Yeah, I thought about that actually. But I mean, that person already signed up, so I could like email, "Hey, congratulations!" But I got too many other things to deal with this.
They like sign into Watch Me Code. They sign up, and when they click the button, like their webcam comes on, and there's like all these people like
Ta-da!
Congratulations! There's like JavaScript bullets. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Totally.
Like I use secret JavaScript API to turn on your web camera.
Exactly. Without your permission.
That's awesome. If you could do that would be a great screencasting series there.
Yeah, totally.
Some guy scratching his.
Right. So, in other Watch Me Code fronts, I've had a fair number of sales this month, which has been pretty good. Just this last week, I sold 3 copies, full-price copies of the complete RabbitMQ for developers.
Nice.
And then I've had a few other sales. So I brought in, just from direct sales, about 1,600. Plus, been talking with a guy up in Boston a number of times, and he got his company to spend $860 on several of my series bundles for his team, which is pretty awesome. So I brought in, what's that come out to, about 2,400 in additional sales so far this month, beyond the subscriptions and prior to doing the Black Friday sale.
Nice.
So it's going to be a pretty good month overall. It's setting me up for being well beyond my goal this year in terms of income. I had this back of my mind mental note that I wanted to bring in around 150,000. No, that's before taxes and before expenses and everything. So it's going to be significantly less than that in terms of actual usable income that I bring home. But for just raw income, I'm sitting at 137,000 right now. And even without doing a Black Friday sale, I should hit about 152,000 by the end of the year. And so hopefully this Black Friday sale will launch me even further than that. I'd like to get up to 160 if that would be possible. We'll have to see how this sale does. And part of this is going to depend on the hours that I'm able to get for my client as well. Actually, I take that back. My hours this month are pretty much set in stone already, and that's going to be the last hours that I get paid this year, because I'll get that check in December, and then my December hours will be paid in January. So, but yeah, it's been a good year overall with income and having paid down credit card debt several times now, and even with all the mistakes that I've made business-wise and expense-wise, it's been a good year. I'm super happy with the way things have turned out, and generally enjoying my career and my life at this point.
Nice.
Pretty sweet.
Yep. That's about it for me. I don't got much else to say this week.
So Derek, it's funny. Actually, I'm actually not too far behind you.
Nice.
In terms of income. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm actually running, adding a couple of things to my spreadsheet here. Yeah, so my kind of goal for the year was 150, and I basically had gotten about right around 33,000 from my job when I'd quit.
Right.
So right now I'm sitting at just 124.
Nice.
And so I've got some other big stuff coming in that it'll be close. It'll be interesting to see if I can hit it. But yeah, this has been pretty amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Last year I brought in 104,000 total.
That's right around where I was actually.
Yeah, so this is already where I'm sitting right now is a huge bump.
Yeah,
and then plus what's coming in for the rest of the year. This is it's like a 50% pay increase this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking here. Yeah, basically my magic number right now to hit 150 is 25.9. So I've got John's going to be sending me a bonus for the launch we did together. The big X factor is going to be my Sublime sale. I have no idea. If that goes well, actually, I might hit my target.
That'd be pretty cool.
So I didn't think I was going to either, especially like around August. I had my client work all dried up. I was like dying.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to deal with finding clients all the time now. That's one thing that really drove me nuts when I was doing the consulting work, was just having to keep people in the queue all the time and keeping that flowing. It's really nice having one client with steady work and then being able to focus on growing and building Watch Me Code.
Funny you should say that, because so John and I hammered out a deal this week, and we have to get it all legally blessed and everything. We're still not sure how we're going to pull it off, but pretty much for at least for the next 3 to 6 months for sure, I'm going to be working on simple programmer stuff with John. And yeah, he's going to pay me monthly.
Awesome.
Basically pay me a monthly retainer for a while, and then we've got a commission structure set up so that we'll hopefully, if all goes well and we're growing and everything, I'll be buying shares of Simple Programmer, and then the goal is to be a 50% or a 49% partner.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, the basic deal is essentially when Josh comes on, if we can grow the company 150% of what it is in gross revenue, then he gains half of the company, which in my mind made sense, because growing at 100% isn't enough, because we're both working together to grow it, and 150% is kind of the point where it's like, okay, based on what I did to get us this far, his contributions are now equal. I feel like at that point, I think we'll be at equal contributions, and so.
It makes sense, because when you start talking about working with people, you can't have a situation where 1 + 1 = 2, or worse, 1 + 1 = 1.5.
Right.
It has to be, 1 + 1 = 2.5, 3, or even 5 sometimes. Otherwise, it's not worth getting into that partnership.
Yeah, we had talked about this originally a few months ago, and we were talking about basically just splitting the revenue now, which wasn't going to work for me, because like the after tax money wasn't quite enough that I could pay my bills and not have to take on additional client work.
Yeah.
So we're front loading it a little bit, so I get enough to basically pay the bills. I'm getting more than half of the site revenue initially.
Nice.
So I can pay all my bills and everything, and not have to take on extra work.
Is that gonna leave room for doing other work to keep your chops up and everything?
So my plan is I'm canceling and turning away work at this point.
Right.
There was one client that I had agreed to do a pilot project for, that I refunded their money because I couldn't do, like, it wouldn't make sense for me to do the pilot work for them and then I can't do the the actual work that they want done. So I refunded that, and then I've turned away 2 other opportunities already from people that were interested. So the goal is so I did secure a deal with, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I got a deal last week with Perry Marshall's copywriter, and I'm going to be ongoing. I have like a retainer work with them to do paid retainer work instead of volunteer. So I'll be doing 8 emails a month, plus they'll have promos here and there that they'll want help with. So I've got that. I've got so basically between that and then all of my kind of secondary passive income, it'll be barely enough to cover the bills, or maybe there'll be a small gap. So I'm basically planning on trying to get my email list to the point where I can get coaching.
Right.
Get people on a $250 or $500 a month coaching program. Get a few of those lined up. So I've got $2,500 a month or so, or $2,000 a month in coaching income, and then that'll be plenty. We'll be in good shape.
Nice.
So but the plan is to not take on extra. But actually, what I'm very happy is because for one thing, John is fine with talking about everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously. So it gives me lots of case study material.
Yeah.
So I can write. I'm going to do like a big write-up about the launch we just did.
Yeah.
And shop it around as a guest post.
Which would be an amazing talk at MicroConf.
Yes, and I submitted it.
Yep, exactly.
That's fun. So,
come on, pick Josh.
Except for the backroom dealings that we don't talk about. Simple Programmer.
Yeah.
What happens in Vegas gets broadcast on Entreprogrammers.
The monopolies and the trusts. The coercion, the blackmail, all that stuff. Where we go over to D-Zone's offices and shake him down. Info queue.
Exactly.
So I'll have. I actually think I'll have more meaty stuff to talk about doing this. Nice. And it will also be a little bit more varied because we'll be doing a lot of conversion rate stuff and optimizing things. So it won't just be copywriting. It'll be like more broadly marketing related funnels and that stuff. So I actually think it'll be better for me as far as sharpening my chops and skills and seeing real test data and all that stuff. Because I don't get that. I mean, I'll hear from clients occasionally, but I don't get to see, in most cases, I don't really get to see like all the numbers and how they used it and all that stuff. So
it's a bit of the same difference, it sounds like, as a consultant hopping clients every 3 months versus sitting down and working for a client for a couple of years and really getting that long-term, value kind of. Yeah,
I'd much rather. I've been wanting to do something like this. So one of the copywriters I admire is a guy named Clayton Makepeace, and he's in my opinion he's the best teacher of all the copywriters I've ever read. Nice. And his model is he goes in and sets up shop in somebody's house basically, or in their business, and then just blows the doors off. And I've been interested in doing that for a while, kind of just looking for the right opportunity to come along. And this seems like a really good opportunity. So.
Totally, it's going to be awesome to see what you guys do with that.
Yeah, I'm excited too, because like the original deal we were talking about back a few months ago, I would basically be stepping out of the business, and Josh would become the CEO, and then we'd be splitting the revenue. He'd be instantly gaining, half the revenue. But with this deal, I'll be in, and I'll be working on it, and I'm excited to do it because it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. I mean, I've been working solo for like how many years now since I
Yeah.
quit track about, and it's not fun. But having this new challenge, working together on this, I think will be pretty awesome. So. And that's and I think there's a huge potential. I think we've got we've got a big audience, we've got a lot of website traffic, a lot of YouTube traffic, so we can really, I think essentially growing it by 150% is more than possible. I think we can even go beyond that, and then we can also automate a lot of the income stream. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. So for me, what's hard about I actually really enjoy the switching clients thing, but not for the amount of money that I'm getting.
Yeah.
I think for me to be really happy doing that, I would need to be making seriously 20 to 30 grand per client, and have one client per month, or one client every month and a half or something.
Yeah.
And because it's a lot of spin-up time to learn a brand new market, interview a bunch of people, and I am starting to get. I have been getting to the point where I'm starting to get people coming back to me now. Actually, most of my at this point, most of my clients that I've worked with have either told me that they'd like to do more, or have actually proposed something specific, but. So I eventually that becomes you're just doing work for the same clients, but still being fragmented in a bunch of different markets is still tough. And I've wanted to specialize, and pick a market, but I don't really have any specific background that's useful to specialize in a market except programming. So this is actually a pretty good.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to specialize and try to do my own thing necessarily. But working with John, this is actually perfect. So
tangentially to what you were saying about switching clients a lot, one really valuable thing that I got out of constantly switching clients was I no longer fear changing jobs.
Right. Yeah.
For most of my career, the idea of changing jobs I would literally break down crying eventually whenever I was changing jobs. It would be that stressful. And having done several years of client work on my own, it got to the point where, oh, okay, new client, oh, okay, new client, oh, okay, new full-time job, oh, okay, I'm quitting. It's just okay, it's no big deal. So that was a very interesting side effect of all of that, for me at least, was going to a full-time job and then quitting and changing clients and starting a business and shutting it down. These things are stressful in themselves for other reasons, but just the fact that I'm changing jobs or getting a new client or quitting my job or whatever is no longer the stressful thing. It's now, okay, I'm shutting down Signal Leaf, which is stressful for a lot of reasons other than changing jobs, but it's an interesting effect in my life.
The chicken to waffle effect.
What's that mean?
Chicken to waffler, because you can switch. Okay, never mind.
I have no idea what you're trying to say.
First you were afraid, you were terrified, and now you're a chicken to waffler. Okay.
I got it.
Lost.
We'll explain it to Derek later.
Okay, explain it to me later.
In smaller words, maybe.
Yes. Clearly, I don't know what a chicken or a waffle is.
How about a chicken waffle?
Because chicken and waffles is never mind.
Oh, I know what chicken and waffles and chicken is. I love waffles and chicken.
Yeah. Man. Oh, you know what I didn't give an update on? The diet thing. So I'm still on the Ultimate Diet 2.0, and my last week I did
name
the.
Is so cheesy. Sorry.
It is. Last week I remember I was like, I tried to avoid gluten.
The ultimate thing, I think it's the juxtaposition of ultimate and 2.0, because that means there was an ultimate diet. Right. That was not the ultimate diet.
Beyond the ultimate diet. The final ultimate diet, 3.0.
UD2. UD2.
Yeah, so
I
it was
didn't
actually
name
the
the
penultimate diet.
Lyle McDonald named it, so. Anyway, last week I cut out the gluten to try to avoid the bloating, and that pretty much worked. But then I had birthday cake from my wife, and I was like, is it
You feel
sugar
terrible.
or is it wheat? Right? Because this was my wife's birthday last week, so.
Oh, it's both in that case.
Yeah, well, so this week I was looking for gluten-free pancakes that just add water instead of the add egg and milk because that's too much fat and it's too much work. We're making a lot of
Wow.
pancakes, right? Yeah. So well, it's mostly the too much fat is the issue.
Right.
So I just bought like the Hungry Jack water, but they're not gluten free. So I ate a bunch of pancakes today and no bloating problems. So I've narrowed it down to sugar. So strangely enough, sugar
hang
is the
on.
thing. So I'm not gluten intolerant.
Well, you ate whole wheat stuff last time.
Well, so that would be fiber, yeah.
Well, no. Whole wheat has a lot more. Actually, if you're worried about gluten, whole wheat has a lot more gluten in it than regular.
No. I didn't eat whole wheat last.
Oh, okay. I thought your bagels were whole wheat.
No. That was the week before, and
That's the 1,200 carbs of whole wheat that turned a toilet into a nuclear waste zone.
Well, see, yeah, because it's weird because you have to think about things a little bit differently because like my first iteration after the candy one, right? this is like we carved up before. So first was
you are trying to give yourself all kinds of digestive problems.
So the first one was the Halloween candy, right? Which was fine for a carb up because I had been zero carb for like months.
Yeah.
So, but still not the best for this. And then the second week was whole wheat stuff because I figured healthy, right? Whole wheat fiber. But I didn't realize if you eat 1,200 grams of carbs and you're eating high fiber stuff, you're eating like 200 grams of fiber. Not a good idea. Not a good idea, right?
If you want to be so regular that you will never get off the toilet.
Like that unicorn commercial.
Yes, the squatty potty.
But then last week was the gluten, taking out the gluten, right? Which worked really well because I also took out the sugar.
Right.
And still, I had birthday cake with frosting, and then I was like, it looked like I was pregnant. So, like it literally looked like I was pregnant. Like it's weird to have like 6-pack abs, but a stomach that is going out. It's just odd. But then this week, so I found out. So like this week was just let's cut the sugar and just do whatever. So so that seems to be fine. It's not wheat, no fiber, not low fiber, low sugar, and low fat. So I've knocked out variables. Most people never would
rice,
know.
Rice
like
cake
what
for
thing,
John.
right? The sugar, I react horribly bad eating sugar, which I would have never guessed that would be a thing that would cause bloating, right? Like. And most people would never figure this out. I thought it was dairy too. Like I thought I was lactose intolerant. Nope, I have no problem with skim milk on this diet. So, but the thing is, when you drink milk, what do you usually eat? Sugary
cereal.
Because it's in ice cream, or you put it in sugary cereal, or you have milk with some kind of pastry, right? So, or chocolate chip cookies. So it's interesting, like to be able to actually have been on such a strict diet that I know exactly what foods do what to me.
Yep.
So, but I'm making good progress on this. I'm leaning up. Like I'm actually gaining weight, and I'm gaining muscle mass, and I'm getting leaner every week. So
that sounds like the ultimate diet to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's ultimate hell diet, but it's also works really well. So we'll see. As far as increasing my vision, I don't think that is working, though.
You make it all sound like science.
I was thinking about you this week because one of the ads that we copied in Copy Hour was this, and it's actually from, I don't know how, this is a Eugene Schwartz ad probably from like the 70s, and the headline is "Your eyes can heal themselves," and it's basically the same pitch.
Yeah.
The difference is this guy's actually talking about like relaxing your muscles, so instead of strengthening them. So, but yeah, I was just chuckling the whole time I was reading it.
Yeah, that was the old technique. I don't know. I'm about to go in for an eye exam just to see like if there's a slight improvement or anything, but I don't know. There's not enough of an improvement that.
How well have you been sticking to it, you think?
I mean, when I'm sitting at the computer, I'm using like these glasses, which are -1, right? Where my prescription is like -5. So these ones,
Okay.
when I am reading, which I've been reading for like at least half an hour every night for most nights, I'm using +1 glasses that are putting me at a severe handicap. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not like deliberately setting aside practice time strictly. And when I'm just going around my daily activities, I'm using these glasses, which are -1 behind what my regular prescription is. So
Okay.
I don't know. I've definitely I haven't done it to the level of if I don't improve my vision, I'm going to die. But I have done it beyond what most people would have done. So
yeah. Cool. I will be interested to hear the results of that.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, if my eye exam improves, then this has improved it because I've never had an improvement in my sight. So
yeah. Yeah. This pitch was amazingly. It is amazingly convincing, though. I mean,
it's an easy thing to pitch too, right? Because you've got so many people want to believe it. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the thing that I thought was really amazing was like the argument of like this. It's so intuitive, right? Like so basically, the argument is if glasses are good for your eyes, why do your eyes get worse and worse and worse the more you use them? Like that's just like what in medicine? Where in medicine is that an acceptable outcome? Right.
Right.
Like, you're going to continue to treat you, and you're going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, but it's okay. That's normal. So. It's a pretty easy to make that convincing, but
plus, and you can always talk about all the other ways your body adapts to the positive, right? So.
Yep.
But yeah. Anyway, that's my update on those things. In other news, I'm hiring a video editor, and I finally went about this the smart way. I may have figured out how to do Upwork. Because I always hire people on Upwork and I regret it. I mean, I get a few good ones and then it's just such a pain. So this time I was like, look, in order to do this the right way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out a job, make it as descriptive as possible, not put a test in the job, but ask relevant questions to filter people. Then I'm going to take that list, filter that list, and then hire a bunch of people to run a test job. So I got a test video set up, the raw footage, and I hired 10 people to edit it.
Nice.
And so I got 8 results back, I think 8 or 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I just was able to go. I'm going through and I'm evaluating them all. I asked Josh to look at them too. If you guys are interested, I could send you the thing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind another opinion if you have some time to look at them.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, that's my plan. And so now, I mean, it cost me, like I said, I think I said earlier before we went on air, I think the whole thing is going to cost me $300 or $400, which is money well spent for hiring an editor, right? Because then I'll have someone that will be good. And it's a pain in the butt going through this, but you do it once, and then you have someone good. And then I'll also even have a backup person because I can always hold the second place person if I ever have a problem. But I need, and the thing is, for a video editor in this case, what I need is someone that can do YouTube style video editing. So it's not just standard editing. I know that I've got people that can certainly do standard editing. Of course, Eric, who does this show, could do the standard editing. But I need someone that actually does the YouTube type of kind of
the cuts and inserts and other little outtakes and all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So that
and somebody that understands not just the editing, but also the full story you're trying to tell and when to insert what cuts and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yep. So that's what I've been doing. So hopefully I'll get someone that will be able to. I've got some good candidates. So and I'm pumping out videos that are at a pretty rapid rate. I had to too because my video crew that was shooting the videos that was doing the editing for these, they're charging $75 an hour which is well beyond what I can afford, and they're not going to be able to keep on doing it at the pre-negotiated price that I had. So.
Right.
But YouTube is growing like crazy. I'm at like almost 11,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And I'm hitting like 70,000 views a month now.
Wow.
So it's gonna pass blog traffic as far as page views.
That's pretty
really?
amazing.
All those teenage girls.
Yeah.
It's John again!
They're not buying anything though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Damn those teenage girls! Forget them; they're dead to you.
Yes.
I have a question on this too, something that I've been kind of noodling over, and that is, I've kind of come to the conclusion that it's not worth me doing most of the development on my stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it kills me to say that, but it's the
Mhm.
case. You know, I'm much better off doing the business stuff and that kind of thing. And that kind of led me to the point where I'm thinking that I probably ought to hire another developer to work on devchat.tv and stuff. But it's really hard for me to take the time to figure that out. You know, John was just talking about that you know, it's a pain in the butt to go through the process of hiring somebody.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how do I weigh that out? I mean, things are pretty busy, but things are going to stay pretty busy, I think. So I can do it now or I can do it later, but eventually I'm going to have to do it.
So somebody told me recently that you should be willing to spend up to 25 times longer.
Exactly.
Well, you're going to throw that in my face, are you?
This is automation. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be totally worth it. But trust me, like this is the first time I've done it right. Because I've hired a lot of people off of Upwork, and I threw out a job, and I looked at I called them up on Skype and had a few chats, and then like hired someone. And sometimes it worked out. Most of the time it didn't.
Yeah.
But this time I was like, no, I'm doing this right. So take the time, take the week or 2 weeks it's going to take you to do this, to get enough applicants, to give them a test job to do. Like come up with like really, you know. And then you're going to save yourself time on the back end, and you're going to get a good price.
If only there were some way you could announce that you had this job available to a large list of developers who have an interest in the kind of work that you do.
Here's the issue there is that I can't afford to pay somebody in the U.S. that kind of rate.
Yeah.
What I bring in as profit off of my business is enough to pay my bills.
Right.
It's not enough for me to hire somebody at that level.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure that if I'm spending, you know, $1,000, $2,000 a month on another developer, that they can probably free up enough of my time to make it up. Right.
Okay.
So that the business brings in that much more.
You can't pay $10,000 a month though.
Right.
Right.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't pay even the $5,000 a month it would take to get somebody that's got a year or so experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and obviously you're in a good position because you actually know what good code should look like or reasonable code, so you can judge. Like a lot of people hiring developers are not in a position where they can judge. If it's hard to say if they do one project for you and all you have to go by is the UI. It's hard to tell whether it's going to be a train wreck.
Yeah.
If as the project scales up or not, but you'll know.
And
yeah, the other thing I've considered, and I'm just not sure I want to do this, and I know that all the open source people out there are gonna send me hate mail, but I could open source it, and then people could just contribute to devchat.tv because they're contributing to the podcast platform and things like that. But I have put a lot of time, effort, and money into that, and I keep thinking that eventually I probably want to make it available to other people as a paid product.
Yes.
And so, because it has a high amount of value to it, so
if you open source it, you get to not get any money out of it, and you get more work.
Yeah.
Yay!
That's exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would get more help on it, and I could structure it so that I offer like business contracts and stuff. But yeah, it just doesn't seem so. I mean, I could get some free help out of it, but that. Yeah. Go on out of here, buddy.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the open source bit there. Dang, you know what? Derek's going to be the last Entreprogrammer.
I am. I'm going to be the only developer in the Entreprogrammers.
Well, I'm still going to be coding. I mean, I have Rails clips and a few other things that, I need to stay current for the podcast and things like that. But the day-to-day, I have to get this done right away, and I'm going to spend 2 days building this thing out. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to be working on other things that keep me sharp or that are interesting to me or that, that kind of pay off in other ways. And then the nitty-gritty day-to-day, I have to get this done by the end of the month, is going to happen because I'm paying somebody else to get it done by the end of the month.
Yeah. But yeah, no.
The thing is it frees me up too, so that I can go and get better at Angular, or get better at iOS, or get better at JavaScript, or something. Go learn some new thing about Ruby, and then I can have those better, more informed conversations on the podcasts.
Yeah, go about it the right way and do it and bite the bullet. And there's a second benefit to this, which is one that I never wanted to do. Is like, you got to become good at hiring people.
Mm-hmm.
That's like an important skill for you to have at this point. It's a skill that's important for me to have that I did not want to acquire because it's a pain in the ass to develop, right? So
yeah,
I never wanted to acquire marketing skills, but
right.
Look what I'm doing now.
I actually enjoy that stuff.
I hate it. I hate marketing.
But I enjoy the coding too, and it's so tied up in my identity. That's the real rub.
Yeah.
So.
But you gotta grow. You're so I struggled with the same thing probably about maybe a year and a half ago. I was talking about this, and I've been a programmer since I was 10, right? I know I hardly write any code, but if I need code written, I'm gonna hire someone to write code because it just doesn't how much my leverage point for writing code is even if I think I'm better than most people, it doesn't matter because it's still I could be the most awesome cog in the world, but I'm still a cog.
Mm-hmm.
I have a full lever fulcrum here that I can move a mountain with. It's better to be on the end of that lever than a cog. So nothing wrong with being a cog for people that are cogs. That we're all cogs at some point. But if you can be the lever, you've got to use your leverage as much as you can. And so it just doesn't make sense. I mean, what value unless your coding can contribute like $2,000 an hour, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing is that if I make it work or someone else makes it work, it still works.
Yeah.
And even if it takes them twice as long as it takes me, it still works. But if I go out and I spend, half of the time that I just had saved for me, and I can make 10 sales instead of 5 sales because I didn't have as much time, then I make twice as much income, or I gain twice as much value, or however that works out. And the other thing is it enables my lifestyle to be what I want it to be because I don't have to spend all the time sweating over the code.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Plus, no one likes code that's been sweated all over.
I suddenly have this image of what's the sweating to the oldies guy?
Richard Simmons?
Yeah, Richard Simmons. I suddenly have this image of Chuck dressed up in a leotard with this giant fro wig doing sweating to the codies.
All right, everybody. Up, down, up, down.
Exactly.
Nice.
Dang it, you guys! You didn't tell me what I wanted to hear.
Nope. The Dream Crushers strike again.
John, we never got final numbers.
Yeah.
Final numbers.
Yeah.
I want to hear how many millions you made off of this.
So
I'll just keep making that noise until he pulls up the numbers.
Yes.
I was gonna bring. I'm cutting it off today because after this point, I think that people are just wandering to the site and buying, not. So up to this point today, right now, we're sitting at. There's been a few refunds, not very many, but we're sitting at $41,674 total sales. So.
Dang.
Well, bam.
That's pretty dang good. I'm pretty happy with that. So.
My friend fee just went up, guys.
Yeah, seriously.
Woo!
Yeah, nice job, Josh. We hit a home run on that one, so that's pretty
First
cool.
of many.
Yeah, so yeah, I was surprised, like to take a product that I had sort of ignored, and then for us to be able to do that well, pretty dang cool. So, and then the webinar, I did the webinar. Oh gosh. I was like, because I'm like, oh, everyone's gonna ask for refunds. Like, I gotta get I don't like having the webinar hanging over my head. First of all, I've been like grumpy all week because I'm like, I gotta do a webinar, and like, what if, even at this point, like, I just don't like having things hanging over my head that I can't control. And so, I had the webinar this Wednesday, and I had scheduled it as a live hangout. Well, I tried to use the Crowdcast thing, and the thing was like it didn't work automatically with Google Plus. Like, you had to pay like $25 to hook that one up. Like, you could get a free Crowdcast for the first try, but I wasn't sure it was going to record, and it didn't look like it was hooked up with Google Plus by default. So, and I didn't want to sign up for a paid plan because I'm doing one webinar. So I was like, okay, Google Hangouts, there's plenty of people that do it like that. There's a Q&A plugin or whatever. Looked it up just to make sure, fine. So I scheduled it. And I mean, I had a problem from the start because I tried to do Hangout on Air, and I tried to invite I didn't want to make it public, so I invited everyone. I like exported the spreadsheet of email addresses of people who bought the course, threw it in there, and then I scheduled the whole thing, put the description in, and hit schedule, and it tells me you have too many people. It doesn't tell me how many I can have, right? And so I was like, oh, okay, fine. So then I went to the live events, which is like, I don't know, there's really no difference between that and Hangout on Air, right? Except, so I scheduled that one, and I put in all the people, and I hit submit, and then it just hung for like an hour. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to make a live event and make it unlisted, and then I'll just send people the link, because if it's unlisted, it doesn't get broadcast, but if you have the link, you can go to it. Totally fine, right? So I did that, and I sent out a product update through DPD with the link in there, and then I sent another one out on Wednesday. So Wednesday night, I'm ready to do the webcast, and I go into live events, start the live event, and I'm like, okay, now let's add the Q&A app. And there is no Q&A app in the toolbox, like in the. So I'm searching for it. Like, how do you find it? Like, people are piling in, and I'm like, sorry, I can't find the Q&A app. Like, I can't answer questions. This isn't going to work.
And by the way, this is the question and answer webinar.
Exactly, right?
That was kind of the whole point.
Oh, sorry, bear with me. Like, it's not working. It's not showing up for some reason, and it never shows up. I can't find it. Like, it's supposed to work for this, right? And then so finally, like, I went to like the page where you could watch it, and I saw there was a chat there, and people were chatting on that. So I was like, okay, I can do it from here, right? Sorry about that. Like, here we go. And so I start talking and start answering a question, and then all of a sudden, first I was like, how's everyone doing? Where are you all from? I said I didn't say y'all, but
right. Yes.
For some reason I have to say y'all. Where are you all from?
It's because I live in Texas. So
it's the hat. It's the hat.
Yeah, totally.
But anyway, so like I say it, and then 4 minutes later I start seeing these places show up. So I was like, what the hell? There's some kind of a lag on this thing. So I was like, okay, fine,
well, John,
that's fine.
Your language has been getting saltier lately, so I think they put you on a tape delay.
That might have been, yeah.
On Google Hangouts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a 20-second delay on Google Hangouts.
This was 4 minutes.
Well, this was on live event, so this wasn't a Hangout on Air. This was, I don't know, but I did a ping and someone did pong, and maybe it was about 20 seconds. So maybe it like calmed down, right? So I'm talking, and then I start seeing all these messages. Video frozen. I look over at my screen, and because I'm looking at the live one, and I'm frozen on there. I'm like, well, what the hell, right? So I was like, okay, hold on, let me figure this out. So I was like, okay, refresh. So everyone, like, I refresh my browser, and I start going in. So it's like, okay, hit refresh. And then all of a sudden it's hanging again. It's hanging again. So I was like, well, what the hell, Google? What am I supposed to do here? So I was like, okay, look, here's what we'll do then. Like, send me your questions now. Like, you can email them to me. You can put them in the chat, and I'll record this offline and answer all your questions, right? And if I don't answer your question, you can send me an email, and I'll answer it. And then one person was like, no, that won't work. Like, I want it live, right? So I was like, oh, great. So there's going to be like all these people are going to demand refunds if I don't provide this thing, which, okay. So I was like, all right, some people were like, why has it got to be live? And he was like, no, because I want to interact with the other people while I'm asking the questions and answering. So I was like, okay, valid point. That is a valid point, right? Like, okay, that makes sense. It needs to be live for that. So I was like, okay, well, let me try creating a Hangout on Air, because that's different than a live event, even though it uses the same. This is a live event that we're recording now. It's not a Hangout on Air, even though we're using the Google Hangout app. So I did a Hangout on Air, and I just made it public because that was my only choice at this point. Or maybe I did unlisted, and I put it into the chat room. So then people started joining that one, and then lo and behold, Hangout on Air has a Q&A app. There's no difference in the UI except that it has a Q&A app, right? It's like live event versus Hangout on Air. Boggles my mind what the difference is. Anyway, I add the Q&A app to the webinar, and on the right-hand side where the widget shows up, it says the Q&A app is disabled. So I'm like, all right, at this point it's like 20 minutes in, and I'm like, dang it, Google, you're gonna like just destroy my life. So finally, I'm looking around, like there's got to be. So I went to the Hangout on Air, like as if I was a viewer, and I saw there was a chat thing there as well, like you could post updates or something. And so people were talking in there, and then finally, that worked, and I answered questions, and I stayed longer. I ended up answering questions for an hour and a half instead of an hour, and then it went well. Then it went smooth. Got some really good questions, got some really good answers, and I got some good feedback from it. But yeah, it was a pain in the butt. So my big lesson for this one is, next time I do a webinar, I'm just going to pay money for whatever solution that is going to have the chat and is going to be recorded and is absolutely going to work and not have a problem. So yeah.
Yeah, the other one that I know a lot of people use is Zoom.us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used that. I don't know how that works on like really high scale. I've used it in meetings with like half a dozen people, and it works well. But
I know
someone said Twitch, but
yeah, you can use Twitch for live events.
And that records it too, right? So
yes. So does Livestream.
Yeah.
I want to say. And I know that some people have used Zoom for their stuff. I've actually looked at Zoom for an option for the online conferences as well.
But yeah, anytime next time I run a webinar, I'm going to pick something that's that has a chat program built in that definitely records it, and I'm going to test it ahead of time. It's worth, because it would have been worth paying, even if I used Crowdcast, it would have been worth paying $100 and then canceling it to do the webinar rather than dealing with this kind of crap. Because I was like, man, because at one point it was like,
I've had no problems with. So.
What's that?
With Crowdcast on their paid tier, I have had no problems with.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sure they're a good service. I just was like, I don't want to sign up for something. I'm doing a one-off webcast or a webinar.
Yeah.
And plenty of people are using Google Hangouts to do this, but yeah. So I was worried that there was going to be this whole flood of because like if you don't deliver the thing that's in the bonus, right, then people are going to be pissed off, and I would be pissed off.
Yeah.
But yeah. So refunds seem to have dropped down. Like I think I've got one refund to process that's in my inbox, but aside from that, I think we've had like maybe nine total. So that's not bad.
Yep.
I was blissfully unaware that all of this was going on.
Yeah.
And the webinar was my idea too. So.
I know. I should.
Congratulations.
As all this crap was going on, I was like, dang it! I should have tapped Josh for this. I was thinking in my head, I was like, I should have had a backup. Because at least if I had you on standby, you could have helped me out and Googled stuff while I was keeping people entertained. So that was another lesson. Is like I should have said, hey Josh, you mind helping me out just to make sure this goes smooth?
A lot of people that do most of the people that I know that do webinars do have an assistant on hand.
Yeah.
To kind of keep things rolling, and color commentary.
Yeah.
Color commentary.
So yeah, that was fun. So.
Ay.
So what else is going on, guys?
So I had something pop up this morning. My goal is my goal, aside from working on the simple programmer stuff, is really to lock in and get my email list growing fast. So I spent some time this morning looking at where I am. Basically, what I figured out is that by doing daily emails, the attrition rate is way higher, which is understandable. So I'm averaging about 8 new subscribers a day and losing about 4.
Yep.
So it's a net gain of 50% every day, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent some time thinking about some creative ways that I could get that growing. I want to get to 10. My goal is to have 10,000 subscribers by the end of next year.
What's your open rate?
On the daily emails, it's hovering close to 30% actually.
Okay.
It is, yeah. So it's around it's anywhere from 28 to 30, kind of right in that range.
Okay.
So I actually feel like I think when I get to 5,000 people on my list, I'm actually going to have 5,000 like really hardcore fans. So it actually will be a higher quality list, I think, than because I'm flushing out all the people who aren't that interested all the time.
So that's what I was thinking at first, but there's another aspect to it. Because initially when you were saying this, I was like, okay, so you're flushing out people, so whoever's left is going to be hardcore fans, but you got to take the open rate into consideration, because it's actually whoever left is going to fall into 2 categories: hardcore fans and people who just
never
don't unsubscribe and never open.
Yeah, and I've already deleted. Like I mentioned last time, I deleted a bunch of people that hadn't opened anything. So I may continue to do that. So in that case, I'd be getting rid of those people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that bumps my open rates up at the same time. So so I'm trying to come up with some creative ideas, and I think one idea that hit me today was to actually reach out to some people. Like I had the idea of contacting Bob Bly, and because he's got a really big list, and he also does a lot of ebooks where he has somebody put together an ebook for him, and then he sells it to his list for like $30. And so I'm gonna try. I emailed him about doing one about giveaways.
Oh yeah.
And he said that he emailed me back and said he's already got several about that niche. But I think I'm gonna still. He said to give him a call. So I think after we get off here, I might talk to him and see if there's something. Basically, I'd be happy to do it, and not make any money if I could grow my lists. If I could get, because what he does is he promotes those over and over. He'll send every month or two. He'll be promoting that same book again. So if I could somehow tap into the buyers, then I'd have a really steady stream of new people coming onto my list. A worst case scenario is maybe we split the revenue and I put a bounce back offer in the book to get people to sign up for my list. So that's one thing I'm considering doing. And then I also realized that it seems like I get about 50 subscribers. I've got like 3 main entrances to my funnel right now, and I seem to get about 50 subscribers from each of them. So I think I'm going to try to set up my daily email so that I'm actually writing more email courses. So if I just plan it out a week ahead of time, I've got a 5-day course.
Oh yeah.
So So and I also saw this is kind of funny. So it looks like I'm getting more organic traffic from Google, and I was pretty excited. And then I went in and I looked at my webmaster tools.
Uh-oh.
And I was not happy at all. Like I looked at the keywords that I was ranking for, and the most of like all the long tail keywords are what I was expecting. They're like garbage. They're like, there was one that was like literally like fix my butt. Like this was a keyword that someone found my website for.
Blood and
And-
stool.
Yeah, it was like what? I mean, Naomi from IttyBiz has talked about this, where like she's had her blog posts like suddenly start ranking for like cat pictures or something, and she'll get like all this traffic, and she'll be
Yeah.
all excited, and then she'll go in and it'll be like just complete garbage. So-
It'll self-correct though, because Google tracks the bounce rates and the clicks. You know, they totally
Yeah.
track the hell out of you, right? So they'll know. They'll start on. You'll stop ranking for fix my butt.
Yeah, but I haven't like I went through like the top maybe 200 keywords, and there was nothing marketing related in there. So I think I'm basically just gonna have to do guest blogging.
Yeah.
And I'll have a lot of opportunity to do that with the simple programmer stuff. So I think that's going to be my main. I might have to buckle down and try to get like a guest blog post done every week, like a case study or something every week. So that'll be fun, but I think that's probably. But yeah, I think like if I could do some JVs like this, where I get like an influx of maybe, several hundred people all at once. I can also do the other thing I was thinking is I might just write some kind of ebook and then basically give it away to people to sell to their list for like $7.
I've
and
got an
they keep
idea.
100% of the profit.
I've got an idea for an ebook.
What's that?
How to fix your butt.
Oh my gosh.
Josh is going to do his own copywriting for his new plastic surgery clinic.
You just put it there. Everyone's already coming there like, dang, I Googled fix my butt. I found a page that sells a book, how to fix my butt.
All right, so I'm going to tell a story that will be not safe for work, not in language, but in content. So one of the series that I did for Watch Me Code was a long time ago, or just an episode actually, was on the Jasmine BDD testing framework. And it was a live episode, so I called the episode Intro to Jasmine Live. I started getting a ton of traffic for Jasmine Live. And
Isn't that like a
yeah,
site?
that's when I found out that there was one of those websites that John has mentioned previously where you click your digital wallet to give money to women to do things. It was pretty nasty.
I can just see some guy.
Oh man.
Not doing Jasmine.
Exactly. So
Oh,
John is
gosh.
right that Google will correct those things.
Wow.
Frequently, I stopped getting traffic from that search term, but it took a while. It was-
That's pretty. Well, John and I both have seen some pretty interesting things in our Amazon affiliate. Because
uh-huh.
when people buy through your Amazon affiliate link, even if they don't buy, what you're advertising, you still see all the items. You don't know who bought what.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've had some pretty what are you doing with that purchases come through my
Yeah.
Amazon affiliates.
John showed me one that was like hysterical because it was like clearly the same person
yeah.
Right.
went through and like bought basically half of the adult items on Amazon like all in one purchase.
Yeah. There's like a collar and a paddle. and-
Wow.
Yeah, it's like okay.
Jar of peanut butter.
Oh my gosh.
Some adult diapers.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Yeah.
Who wants
I
to
don't know
follow
where
that?
this show goes.
Yeah,
sometimes.
nobody wants to follow that. We're done.
So should we talk about our retreat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. So
So
I'll
I
be
think we-
flying out April 1st and then flying home April 6th. So basically, I'm going to try to get my flights early in the day so I can get there like early afternoon or something. And that way we can have, that afternoon and evening to hang out. And then we'll have the second and the third to do whatever, with MicroConf being on the 4th and 5th, and then I'll fly home on the 6th.
Cool. I think I've got mine. I booked a hotel for the 30th of March.
Yeah, I thought about going out there on the 31st, but when I looked at, okay, that would have been Wednesday or Thursday to Wednesday. That's pushing it. I think the 1st or the 6th was already pushing it for me and my family because I just spent 4 days away from the kids, and my son was literally crying every night when I was gone.
Yeah.
So it's already going to be rough.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'll have to look at what's the I'm gonna look at the calendar here.
Friday
So
the 1st is
Friday the 1st.
Yeah,
Okay.
Friday is the 1st.
So you'd be
Then-
arriving Friday the 1st.
Right.
The idea.
And then
So
Monday
maybe
and
the
Tuesday
first
are
and
the
second, right?
conference, and I'll come home on Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, Chuck, you were really quiet again. What was that?
I was just asking. So the plan is then to do the retreat. We were talking about doing it before, and then we mentioned maybe after. So we're going to do it beforehand then.
Yeah, beforehand is
Second.
going to be better because that'll give us time just to get to know each other and hang out, and then we can go our separate ways during the conference when we're all tired of each other. That's-
Right. Okay. So that gives us 2 days then,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which I think will probably be enough because now that John and I are kind of a two-headed monster,
Right.
we'll be planning for the same stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah, that'll be good. It'll be fun. So
definitely. And we don't have to worry about trying to sell this to other people this time, which is nice.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of, so it's you know what? It's actually a pretty good thing that we didn't go down to Mexico when we had planned, because there was a massive
Yeah.
hurricane
It was
blowing through the city the week that
Oh.
we were going to be there.
really,
Well, I don't think it was exact. I think I looked at that and I think it was like we would have missed it, but just barely.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah. It didn't end up doing a lot of. Well, they were worried that it was going to be a direct hit.
Yeah.
oh man,
And it actually, I think the reason that there was not a lot of damage from that was just because it missed that area,
Right.
and kind of just blew by. But
oh, I got a book recommendation for you guys. I've been
Okay.
given a really good one. It's a Napoleon Hill book. What's it playing?
Okay.
It's called Outwitting the Devil. Have you guys heard of this book?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
So, I think it's better than Think and Grow Rich. Honestly, he wrote it in 1938, and
Okay.
it was published in like in 2013, I think.
Yeah, nice. Wow, that's
Yeah,
small. Yeah.
Wow.
they had to
Speaking
wait
of
until a lot
Napoleon,
people died
Mm.
really.
because his wife didn't want it published, and then
Wow.
like whoever inherited his estate, like their wife didn't want it published.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
You know what else was like that? I think Mark Twain. I was a big fan of his when I was
Yeah.
younger, and he had an autobiography that he wrote. But then he like put an embargo on it and like said you can't publish this for 100 years after
Yeah.
100 years after I die. It actually just came out
Wow.
Really?
not too long ago. Yeah, because
So-
I think he died in like the 19 teens
Right.
or early 20s or something.
On the subject of Napoleon Hill, as I was walking through DFW on the way to the conference that I was just at, I saw some guy walking out of a bookstore holding Think and Grow Rich and The One Thing.
nice.
I was like that close, like just like almost decided to stop and talk to the guy, but he had
Yeah.
headphones, so I didn't want to bother.
Who are you?
Yeah. If he didn't have headphones in, I was just gonna say nice choice in books, but I didn't want to bother him with headphones in.
Probably an entrepreneur of some sort.
Probably. I mean, it could have made for some great conversations while I sat there at the airport for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But yeah, Outwitting the Devil is really good. The
Nice.
reason why it wasn't published was because he talks a lot about traditional, like a lot of the stuff that I like, traditional education and religious systems that are like very, very controlling. So he doesn't talk a huge amount about it, but it's just, I mean, at that time in history, it would have been bad. So yeah, so is really good. Like as far as like book that contains the most amount of wisdom like per conversation, it's very high up there. Like and plus, get the audio version because the narration on it is awesome. The guy that plays the devil is just like he's so good. Yeah.
Is it kind of like the Screw Tape Letters then, where it's like a back and forth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I so want it to be James Earl Jones, the devil.
You'll like who narrates it. It's good, trust me. I'm also listening. I haven't finished it, but I'm listening to Titan now on audio. It's like 30 hours. It's a biography of Rockefeller, which is pretty good so far. But that one I can't recommend necessarily.
While we're talking books, I have to thank you guys for mentioning The Martian. I'm reading this book now.
Oh yeah.
It is possibly my favorite book. Like I'm only like about 25% of the way through it, but it is amazing. I don't know if I even want to watch the movie. The book is just so freaking good. Like the character, the Mark character in there he's really funny, and I've just really enjoyed like the whole. I could see like engineers totally digging this book. Like it's just problem solving, and I actually like. Well, so far at least, I was expecting some kind of like sinister drama back on Earth. And so far, it's been actually kind of refreshing. Like everybody's just pulling together and trying to get this guy home. And so it's kind of like man versus nature, not like there's not like all this intrigue. And but yeah, oh my gosh, I just freaking love that book. There's the one scene where the NASA administrator is like, I wonder what he's thinking right now. And then it cuts to Mark, and it's like, how can Aquaman control a whale? He's basically got all these TV shows. He's watching like all these 70s TV shows, and it's just, oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good book for sure.
And there's one chapter he's like, oh, he ends the chapter and he's like, I'm gonna live, like I can do this, and then I'm feeling confident. I know I can do this. I'm gonna live, and then the next chapter is like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I think the very opening of the book is like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm F now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's the best book I've read in a long time. So.
Best opening line for stupid lawnmowers. Best opening line for a book that I've read so far is still John Scalzi's Old Man's War, which is something like, I turned 75 today and I did two things. I visited my wife's grave and I joined the army.
Nice.
I feel like Derek's just gonna get up and like yell at the lawnmower, like, "Shut up! Get a real job, you
get off my lawn!" No, wait. Actually, I need it cut. So come back.
Yeah. So that would be my. I thought there was. I'm trying to think of. Oh, I listened to Willpower, the other Willpower one. I didn't like it very much, but I don't believe in limitations, so. But I guess we should probably wrap it up and do our thoughts, unless anyone's got something else. Oh, one last thing I wanted to plug real quick. If for utilizing the power of the internet for people listening that are a good business lawyer. We need to find one to be able to, that's the thing that's stopping Josh and I from making this deal go forward, is we just need to get a good business lawyer, and it's hard to find one that can like put together the right deal and structure it correctly. So
right, because there's tax. We're trying to figure out the tax implications. That's the big deal.
Yeah.
Because what we don't want to do is me pay Josh a bunch of money that he gets taxed on, and then he used that money to buy an option from me, giving me back my own money, which I then get taxed on.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're hoping to find a way to do it with just stock and like have it not really be taxable.
Exactly. Yep.
But I'm not sure if that's possible.
I don't think you have to do stock like that to be ownership. There's not like literally you own 49,000, he owns 51,000. It's just percentage. I don't think it has to do with stock, because you're not a publicly traded company and you're not dealing with that kind of investment.
Well, it's an S corp, or it's treated as an S corp, so it's I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, there's different ways to structure it, I'm sure, but as long as we can, I mean, our goal is what we stated. Like,
right.
As long as we can structure it some way that works. So.
Yeah, and there's going to be a million options. So yeah, you guys definitely do need a good business lawyer that understands all that stuff.
I've also got to separate my entities too, because my Pluralsight royalties and book royalties are going into Simple Programmer, and that's not part of the deal.
That was all part of my plan. See,
To get half of John's Pluralsight royalties and retire next week.
half of $100 or $300,000 a quarter. I'll take it.
Yeah,
it's good work if you can get it.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, so thoughts for the week.
I've got mine. Mine is I kind of learned this week. I slowed down this week. I started waking up at like 6 a.m. That's not related to this, but anyway, I was getting stressed out about like stupid stuff, and I need to slow down and do things right. And so that's what helped me, and that's what I'm doing. Like, I especially with like hiring the video editor on Upwork, it's like, no, I'm going to slow down and do it right so that I don't do a crap job and have to do it over. Yeah. So I sometimes tend to just jump too far ahead, and it's like, yeah, it's painfully slow, like going through the right process sometimes, but it prevents you. You feel better about it because you're sure, and it prevents you from screwing up and having to start over, which ends up wasting more time in the long run. So the same thing with like this deal, like, we could rush this deal and just write up some kind of silly contract but we need to find the right lawyer